want to unlock every ship in World of Warships without giving Wargaming a single dime, well then stick around, because I will show you exactly how to build your free-to-play account that grows into a full-fledged fleet. But before we dive in, quick heads up for brand new players. In World of Warships, you unlock features gradually based on the number of games played, so if you don't see a specific thing that I'm showing right now, you're not missing out, you just haven't unlocked it yet. So don't worry, just keep playing and keep going. In this video, I'm gonna give you 3 steps on how to build your account brick by brick. In step 1, humble beginnings, we're gonna get you started on how to make first smart choices in this game. In shipbuilding preparations, the step 2, we're gonna start actually building the economy and setting you up with the first premium ships and stuff like this. And in step 3, Legends Forged, we're gonna focus on getting the tier 10 super ships and getting the resource ships for an exponential growth of the account, so that you can actually see it, so you have it in your port just like mine is. So by the end you know how to unlock borderline anything in this game without having to open your wallet. Also, I've left out timestamps for each of the steps at the bottom, so you don't have to find it and skip around. You just basically go based on where your account is to find the information you need. Step 1. Humble beginnings. This is where every account starts, and the decisions you make here will set a pretty good foundation for anything that comes after. First things first is creating your account. Using community contributor invite link, by doing so, is gonna give you huge boost. But if you missed out and did not do it, don't worry. Usually there are some invite codes around that are for the new players. You basically just need to search some news in the World of Warships website and you're not gonna have any problem with that. Those codes are usually valid for the couple first days after creating the account, so you don't need to worry. If you are wondering who exactly is a CC, you can find them out on the same World of Warships website. There is basically a whole list of them, and you can just go into the Twitch or YouTube and ask around. Unfortunately, I myself am not a community contributor, mostly because I think Wargaming doesn't like me that much, but maybe with your help and assistance in watching and sharing this video, maybe we can change it. All the codes and invite links that you get from different community contributors, sites, and whatever sources you have also usually include bonuses like free premium times, some economic bonuses, flags, and small containers and stuff like this. Those are not usually the biggest ones, even though community contributor invite codes can also give you low tier premium ships, but it's always nice small addition, especially for new players. Next is daily rewards. Just logging in gives you credits, signals, sometimes bonuses, and right now when we have the 10-year World of Warships anniversary, we get even more free rewards that are just upgraded daily rewards. So don't miss out, just click them and you're gonna have a lot of stuff coming over. It stacks very beautifully. Speaking of daily things, you also can collect daily containers. There are 4 kinds of daily containers you can collect, up to 3 per day, and basically you get them for just playing the game and getting XP. For new accounts, I highly suggest getting 1 economic bonuses container and 2 ones with bonus coal. You don't really need to worry about signals on low tiers, and you don't really want to gamble with the small chance for rolling a super container one. We want to stock up on the coal and economic bonuses for usage in the next step. Try to join a clan as soon as you can. Even if it's inactive, you're gonna get a lot of permanent bonuses like cheaper ship servicing, you can get discounts for ships, you can get more coal and steel from containers and stuff like this. You don't really need to play clan battles. You probably cannot really play clan battles on this tier because, well, last time we had something of a clan battles on lower tiers, it was absolute nightmare. So clan battles are basically tier 10 things, so you don't need to worry about them at this step. Just join a clan to get some bonuses and maybe you're gonna find some friends to play with. You also want to check out early campaigns, such as Science for Victory, that doesn't really require you to play very high level ships to complete. And you probably can do them like by mistake, and they usually give some small rewards. It's not really that big, but well, if you do something on your way of doing something else, it's always good, right? Now let's talk a little bit about the commanders. The biggest trap for new players is spending too many points across too many captains. Instead, just focus on one or two and funnel all your commander XP into them. Putting them on your highest tier ship is also pretty decent as you want to progress the lines as fast as possible. Your goal in this step is to have a solid 10-point commander by the end of getting to the tier 5. Commanders with 10 to 14 points usually are pretty decent, and even accounts like mine are still using them. Speaking of not spreading out, we need to actually choose a line to start grind. In theory, you can choose any one that you want, but to be efficient and to get all of the possible lines as fast as possible so you can play anything, you need to avoid a couple things. First of all, you cannot go for submarines or aircraft carriers. Even though Wargaming is making it tempting with the new class that is included, submarines, wow. They are the most expensive class in the game and they are requiring also a lot of XP to progress. Even though they have boosted XP earnings, they don't have boosted credit earnings. Carriers are even worse because even though they are slightly cheaper than submarines, they're still much more expensive than regular ships. They also have reduced earnings in XP and in credits. So basically it's a trap for new players. I've made a video about which ships are the easiest to pick up for new players into this game, but the safest pick for cruisers is gonna be American light cruiser line, the Worcester, because like Cleveland is fantastic ship. Actually, any ship from that texture is really damn good. If you prefer a little bit heavier cruisers, US got you covered as well, as the Des Moines line is also pretty comfortable. If you want battleships, you either go for the German secondary battleships if you really want brawling, because something like Bismarck is gonna give you a lot of good games, especially when you're playing a ranked. About that a little bit later. However, this is not really the strongest pick. I would suggest that you go for the US battleship line again, as they usually are basically all-rounder ships. They are not really the greatest at doing one specific thing, but they will forgive a lot of mistakes that you do. For destroyers, I highly suggest the British Daring line or one of the IGN lines based on what you prefer. Lower tiers IGN DDs are basically all torpedo boats, so you don't really need to worry about which one you pick. It's basically endgame pick. If you prefer more gun focused fights as a DD, Harugumo line. If you prefer more stealth torping, Shimakaze line. That's basically the choice. In the end, you're at step 1. Your goal is to get to the tier 5. So you can make all the mistakes in the gameplay that you want. You don't really need to get yourself around. Just try to find yourself a niche that you fit in. I gave you some ideas, but the point is to have 1 or 2 tech trees at max to focus on in the early part of your account, grind. So by the end of this step, you should have your first campaign running and growing some coal stockpile, one of the 2 tech tree lines you're committed to, and captain on the way to 10 points. This is your foundation. Now we can start actually building up. Now we're moving to step 2, shipbuilding preparations. Welcome to your mid-game grind. This is where most players settle down and their free-to-play accounts either stall out, start snowballing, or the worst part, they fall victim to Wargaming's monetization. Okay, first of all, credit management. At this tier's repair bills and costs for progression to the next ship starts to a little bit bite. First of all, you need to understand how credits and generally all the economics work in this game. You're getting paid per battle based on percentage of the damage taken from enemy ship. To put it into example, if you have a ship that has 100k HP max and a ship that has 10k HP, for example Yamato and a small destroyer. If you hit Yamato for 5000 HP, you took out 5% of his HP bar, meaning you're gonna be paid for dealing 5% of his HP as damage. If you did the same kind of damage, did 5k damage to the DD with 10k health, you took out 50% of his HP, meaning that you're gonna be paid for dealing 50% of the damage to the ship. So for the same amount of damage, you're being paid in 2 different ways. So don't think that dealing a lot of damage will make you rich in this game. The percentage counts. Also, adding to that, you're gonna have the premium account, the economic bonuses, and one extra thing that many people don't really know is that if you're as a tier 6, you're damaging a tier 8, for each tier difference, in this case 2 tiers difference, you're gonna get 10% extra or negative. If you're firing at tier 8 as a tier 6, you're gonna get 20% extra earnings for that. If you're firing as tier 8 into tier 6, you're gonna get 20% less. Basically, that's it. Also, a couple extra things that many people forget is that in this game, in contrast to other wargaming products like World of Tanks, you pay the maintenance of your ship regardless of the amount of HP at the end. If you took 0 damage in the game, or you got almost sunk, you're gonna pay the same in maintenance. So you don't really need to worry about preserving your ship. You want to do as much in the game. That's basics of earning XP and credits. If you need some extra credits, do not spend money on it. Just play a little bit. You're gonna get there eventually. If you need some at this very instant, you can go to your inventory and sell stock modules from the previous ships. Because you can do that. You have a lot of stock modules in your inventory that you probably do not realize they are lying around. Selling lower tier ships is usually not such a great choice. Now we need to actually adjust a little bit our daily containers, as we now need to focus all about resources. So we're going into 3 coal containers per day. You might think about getting 2 coal containers and 1 flag container if you are really into using the flags, but you still do not really need them. The only ones that you're gonna need around the tier 8, that is our goal right now, is the HP flag, really. As having slightly more HP is always great in the game, as makes you live tiny bit longer and maybe earn some more XP and credits by doing a little bit more damage. In this step, you should also be able to complete most of the first 2 easy campaigns, as they usually are not that hard. There is that one campaign that actually gives you a tier 6 premium destroyer Shinonome for basically free, and you should be able to complete this campaign as well, or at least most of it. You could also start getting your eyes on the Yamamoto and Halsey campaigns, as those two special commanders are really damn good. And if Wargaming at this point is gonna start tempting you with buying some tier 8 premium ship, just tell them no, okay? Just tell them no, it's not your time. Don't forget about the limited time events, game anniversaries like we have right now, or things like Christmas. Even small participation during those events earns you great rewards, especially the Christmas containers, as those have a lot of chances to actually get you pretty decent premium ship. And you can earn them free to play as well, so keep your eyes out on those events and try to find yourself something to snatch on. If you really, and I mean really want some ship for the balloons, there is a way of earning those free to play as well. All you need to do is join ranked sprints. The early Bronze League is usually around tier 6, 7 or 8, so you don't need to worry about not having ships to play with. The lines that I recommended in the beginning, the Worcester, Des Moines, with the respective ships like Cleveland, Baltimore, or the ones that are more battleship like North Carolina, Bismarck, Akizuki, or Kagero are good picks for those ranked sprints, and they are usually able to get you all the possible rewards. Silver and Gold leagues usually require tier 9s and 10s, so we're gonna skip them for this time. The ships that I've just mentioned are also your core tier 8 keeper ships. Mostly because ships like Cleveland and Bismarck can get bonus package basically for free via collection that you can spend some coal on to complete and get yourself basically a tech tree ship turned into premium. Because bonus package is a permanent bonus to all the economics, that is basically what differentiates tech tree ships from premium ones. With all those rewards stockpiled by the end of the step, you should have just enough coal that in combination with a coupon to buy your first special ship. This is not really premium, but it has a bonus package, so it basically earns like one, and you can switch your commander to it without retraining. This means that you can actually earn much more commander XP for your highest tech tree ship without spending a dime. My top recommendations for first coal ship for a player would be Salem. It's basically a Des Moines clone, but with a little bit different consumables. If you prefer Germans, well, you have Pommern and Grosse Kurfürst. Basically, the choice is yours over there. You can see that they are basically the same. If you want a higher skill destroyer, Marceau is usually a very scary opponent, but my highest recommendation of all of those ships, regardless of what do you want to play, is gonna be Moskva. The ship that is in this game for very long time, but is basically a staple of every single clan battle. Why? Because it is very strong. It has very good 220mm guns, very decent armor, and it is pretty easy to pick up. You're basically getting a battleship level of armor when you're angled, but when you're broadside you're gonna explode. If you need some more details for those ships, you can find them up in my content, don't need to worry. So, small checkpoint, this is the end of step 2. You should have around 2 tier 8 keepers, a special ship from Cole, advanced campaigns underway, and pretty steady economy. This is your setup. Now we're ready to jump into the big leagues. Step 3. Legends Forge. This is where your grind finally starts paying off. The tier 9s, the tier 10s, and even some super ships. Those can make your free-to-play account explode with rewards if you play it right. First thing to know, the tier 9 and tier 10s are usually pretty expensive, and playing them usually is also costly. So focus only on the lines that you grind and get yourself some credit backup with the special ship that you've got, because tier 10 special ships have significantly reduced costs in terms of maintenance, as they are also much better credit farmers. If you don't have it yet, even though we talked about it in step 2, play a little bit on lower tiers. In this part, Wargaming will also try to give you a lot of possibilities of spending the balloons in the armory. Most of those events, early access to tech trees, are completely not worth it. The only thing that is worth is the thing that you can get from missions for free. Those missions usually require you to play some higher tiers, but it is not really that difficult to complete them. The only thing that is worth in the armory for your hard and the plumes, I added tier 8 premium ships when you earn them via ranked, and the crates in one very specific event. Okay, maybe two. First event would be Christmas. Christmas containers are worth the most. So you have some doubloons to spare from playing rank and stuff like this. This is your time when you can actually spend them, as you already have pretty decent game knowledge to actually utilize the higher tier ships that you get from those containers. Others would be the Black Friday containers. Are they basically copies of other special and premium ships painted black? On top of that, in the Christmas and game anniversary events that happen, one is happening right now, and the other, well, you know, Christmas end of the year, you can also get some of those rewards just for having tier 10s, actually everything above tier 5 in the pool. Then there are super ships. They seem fun, flashy, and sometimes broken, like Conde and Annapolis, but for free-to-play accounts they are very brutal credit sinks. Treat them as, well, a spice. You can basically play it from time to time to have some fun, but then you're gonna need to focus on actually having enough credits to play them. They're not your daily grind ships. At this point you should have, or at least be getting close to having enough steel to buy another resource ship. Coal is basically bread and butter, but steel is something harder, something special. You earn them by ranked and clan battles, and sometimes from some rewards, and you can get really powerful ships there that, well, need to be fitting your playstyle. We have strong gunboats like Ragnar, we have basically a bigger Ragnar with citadel called Svea, battleships like Bourgogne, or something that is borderline a battleship but actually a cruiser, Stalingrad. But this is not only way of getting something unique. There is also something called a research bureau. Research bureau ships and legendary upgrades for most of the tier 10s are not really obtainable in normal way. To get tokens for that, you need to reset a tech tree. Resetting a tech tree basically means that when you get to tier 10 and you press that little button, the whole progress of your grind is being reset. All the ships you're gonna need to research again, the modules are gonna be automatically stored in your inventory, and the ship's costs are gonna be returned to your account. And you're gonna need to start it all over again. To do that in the most efficient way, I highly suggest you doing this to some DD line. As those are usually the cheapest in terms of XP and credits, whilst also being pretty easy to grind through. I do it with the Harugumo line. You can pick any line you want, but I also need to mention that submarines and aircraft carriers are the worst possible lines to do it, and I'm not even mentioning the costs here, because you're gonna earn the research points on every single vehicle from tier 5 above. Submarines do not have tier 5, tier 7, and tier 9, so don't carriers. So you're basically missing all those points up from those ships. Also, as you've been grinding through the step 1 and step 2, your commanders became a little bit neglected. But at the end of step 3, you should focus on getting that one specific commander to 21 point mark. Once you get commander to 21 points, every single bit of XP earned by this commander in battle is gonna be converted to elite commander XP that you can use to boost your other commanders. By step 1, you're gonna get 10 point commander, by step 2 probably like 14-16 points. Getting the step 3 to 21 is basically a huge jump boost. The 21 point commander allows you to get other commanders 21 points really fast. And that's been the checkpoint of the step 3. From this point on, your account should be pretty much self-sustaining. You have multiple tier 8 keepers, you have tier 10s, and some special ships you've earned through coal, steel, and maybe something for doubloons on the way that you earned through ranked games, all without spending a dime on wargaming. Your commanders are gonna be maxed in no time, and all you need to do is basically check out the anniversary and Christmas events to earn yourself some more premium ships and snowball your account from there. And that's basically it, from humble beginnings to Legends Forged. If you find my guide helpful, give it a like, maybe share it with your friends, and subscribe if you want more. I would love to hear in the comments how your free-to-play journey is going. Like always, thanks for watching. See you next time. Signed out.